Hello, Mark Crossfield here. Welcome to the Golf Swing Weekly Fix. I've got swings coming at you sent through my mobile app for you this week as normal, so plenty of swing fixes. I'm actually going to play golf. There are my clubs, just about to go out the door and play golf with no cameras this time. Actually in a little bit of a competition. So I've had no time to do a question of the week for this swing fix this week, but if you want more questions, I've got a second channel, AskGolfGuru, search that. So you're on the Mark Crossfield channel at the minute. If you go to the Ask Golf Guru, it's a Q&A channel. I just answer questions pretty much daily, which also relates to another app, the Ask Golf Guru app I've got as well. So if you want more questions, which you normally get in the weekly fix, there will be more in the next weekly fixes and so on. It's just this week I haven't had time to film them, unfortunately. But if you want more questions, head over there. There's loads of questions being answered all the time. So, loads of swings to fix. Let's get stuck in. So first swing here, coming from the app, not a bad action, lot of good movements in here. Two things I'd like to see, a little bit more stability really in that lower half. Camera moves a bit here. If I get my line on here, right hip tends to, camera sways around a bit, but the right hip tends to kick out a bit too far for my liking. On the backswing with the right knee, see the camera moving down the downswing. Then on the way through, I'd like to see a little bit more extension here in your lower body, just so we get this right foot not peeling back this way, coming up a little bit more forwards to help you get through the ball. So it's about going to be stretching out in here a little bit more. So let's start you off with a little bit of stability on the way back. Let's get rid of this kind of kicking right hip out movement, hitting a little bit this way. I'd like you to turn against your right hip, and then we're thinking about getting your left pocket to go cross, up, then through. So you want to feel that this part of your body, middle part's really pushing out towards the targets. You're extending with side bend in there to get a good strike on that ball. So great feeling for you to have in your backswing is just try and tune into your right knee a little bit and feel what your right knee's doing. So first thing I want you to start by doing is just having your right knee kicked in slightly. So have that right knee just slightly kicked in. I want you to go top of your backswing, and I want you to feel that right knee doesn't move to the right. So it can go back, it can straighten. You can try and keep a little bit of flex in it, not fussed. I just don't want you feeling like it peels out to the right like it does. You could just put your club inside your toe, up through your right leg. Make a few one-handed backswings, feeling yourself turning against that rather than trying to knock that out. Is a great feeling. Once you've got that feeling in there, then I want you just to try and get a little bit more of a poetic, extended follow through. So literally hit a few shots against that right knee a bit more. And then finishing, you want to feel that you're really stretching out lower back, pushing your hips towards the target. You'll still have side bend in there, which is what's allowing you to get down to the ball as you start extending. So straightening your back in theory, but I want you just to extend that follow through out. And what you'll notice, I'll do that again, against my right knee, full follow through, is when I finish, I've got my right foot up on its toe, but the heel's right over the toe, almost forward of the toes, rather than your finish is definitely a little bit more, well, you're that way, aren't you? So this part of you's back, where your upper body's forward. Just extend a little bit more for impact, you'll hit some much better shots. Okay, another swing sent through the app. First thing I'd like to see you try and do is get your hands up towards the inside of your left leg at address. You definitely have your hands quite a long way back at address here. Then we see a big old arm swing. Let's get a bit of control of how much shoulder turn you're putting in and how much hip rotation you're putting in, just to get a little bit more of a controlled backswing in there and help you hopefully deliver the club a little bit better. I mean, we see a massive sway forwards as you come down, almost too much lateral shift. Very blurry here, but I'd imagine on camera you see yourself possibly a little bit flippy forward with the shaft, with the shaft of the club forward of your hands. Let's just get that backswing a little bit more in shape. Right, so we're seeing hands back, aren't we, at address? Let's just get your hands up at the inside of your left leg. Now, as you do that, you've got to bear in mind that the club face is going to move as you move the handle forwards and backwards. Your understanding of a square face is going to twist open or close. For you, open as you push the handle forwards. So what you're going to do is have to get the club to you feeling like the handle's forward, then have the club turned in to make sure that leading edge, bottom leading edge, is at a right angle to that line you want to hit the ball on. So a little bit neater in that setup. Then I want you to make a few back swings where you feel like you keep your knees still, left and right. Right one can go back a little bit if it has to, but just try and not get such a closing of your knees on the backswing. Feel like you're turning your shoulders against your lower half, which is resisting. So trying to keep a gap between your legs. This is going to help you not turn your shoulders as far, because you're only going to be able to get a certain amount of separation between upper body and lower body. So if you calm the ground upwards down, so knees then in turn hips, then your shoulders will calm down how much they turn, which then in turn will make it hard for you to get that arm swing quite so long as well. So it's really about trying to get a much calmer backswing from a better setup position. So hands opposite the inside of your left leg. Make sure the club face is still square, parallel, right angle to your target line when you address with those hands forward. Then you're looking at trying to keep your knees relatively quiet, turn your shoulders as much as you can with a full follow through. What you can do at the start is actually make a few swings where you don't move your knees at all. You can move them on the downswing, but not on the backswing. So feel like you just keep your knees dead still and hit some shots. Maybe get someone to record you like you have there, and you'll see that your knees probably are moving. When you've got someone rotating that far on the way back, when you tell them to keep their knees still, they actually do move them the right amount. So saying keep them still isn't the physical what I want you to do, it's a feeling that makes them achieve the right amount of turn. So definitely hit a few where you try and calm that backswing down. I think you'll hit some better strikes. So another young man sending a swing here through the app, lots of good movements in here. Not a bad backswing. Then we see masses of rotation on the way through, left foot lifting off, right foot take off. So massive turning, which in turn is getting that club to appear much more from outside of the ball swinging into the left. We need to try and move this path maybe to the right or even through the ball a little bit more. That's going to be done by you trying to think about your feet. So good, athletic, young swing there, isn't it? Very common. So we're seeing a backswing, pretty neat downswing. So it's massively rotated, so rotated that your left foot and hip, knee and foot can't take it anymore, so it starts to come up to give you some extra leeway to turn even more. And in turn what that does is it gets you moving that path a little bit, what people call over the top, certainly out to in a little bit. Look, hit a few shots for me, just practicing. Try not to hit it over the fence. You're a junior, so hit it the length a junior should hit it, rather than maybe aspiring to where some of the other players are hitting it who are not juniors. That's one good tip for juniors often. I want you to hit a few shots where you feel like you just stay side on to the ball and you feel that your left foot is very much connected to the ground. So kind of 70% shots. So it's just with a 7-iron. All I did there was move onto my left foot. Right foot started to peel up. Left hip went higher than right, so I felt like I was tilting, but I tried to take out all that rotation. And I felt very connected with the ground. So again, just do a couple more of those, just to get the feel of the strike and how that feels and well the way that moves your path. See if you get some different shaped shots. Then what you can do is bleed that into a follow through. So try not to have the stop, to hit it side on feeling and then come out into a full follow through. You've got to start trying to resist that temptation just to spin, spin, spin out of it as far as you can. And get that left foot connecting with the ground a lot more into impact. Just help with path and hopefully to help with a few stronger strikes. So looking at this swing, it looks like you're pretty athletic and fit, like you can move. I would guess, but I don't know, often when I see a swing like this, you play another sport, hockey, squash, really wristy based sports. In England it would be more cricket, but that doesn't look like an UK range to me, but it might be. Look, backswing gets a little wristy. So not only do we see your hands quite a long way in front of you here, I'd like to see your hands kind of coming back with your body a lot more. We see massive amount of wrist set. So I would like to see your hands much more over your right shoulder at this point, top of your backswing. Downswing, you recover it pretty well, to be honest. There looks like lots of good hits. It looks like a very wristy recovery. So consistency and maybe hitting drivers with this action is going to be tough. Let's give you a few ideas. So quite a wrist-based action, isn't it? Not a bad setup. Then we start seeing kind of this action, very hinged. I want you to make a few backswings where you film two thoughts. I want you to try and get your hands to come over your right shoulder a lot more. So at the moment they're much more almost over your head. So I want you to feel that your hands are just pulling behind you. So imagine your body is turning this way. Try and let your hands come with it. So at the moment your body turns this way and then your hands start separating off and going a separate way. So I'd like to see you get them connected a little bit more. Then the next thing I'd like you to try and do is hit a few shots, trying to get your hands over your right shoulder, but feeling like you're using next to no wrist. it'll feel really weak compared to what you're doing, but just trust it. Just see, so I've got a 7-iron here, and I've got a blue flag, say 60 yards in front of me. I want you to feel like you get your hands behind you, so going over to your right shoulder, no wrist. And just kind of pitch a few shots out there. Then what you can do, when you feel that you've got the strike of that working, that you can actually hit the ball where you feel like you take the wrist out and that your hands are going back, start swinging your arms the same way, but much faster. So do that action with a fast arm swing, so feel like you're putting full power back in, but still want to feel like your arms are coming back, still want to feel like you're taking that wrist out of it. You're going to find your club delivery, I would say, becomes much more consistent throughout the bag that way. I'm pretty sure you can hit some good shots doing what you're doing, but as you go up and down through the loss, I think you're going to see a real variation in quality of your golf, so from good to maybe not so good, where it needs to stay at a certain standard with all the clubs, ideally, for you to play golf. So 2 simple thoughts: take the wrist out, feel like the hands are going much more back towards the right shoulder. Your golf will definitely get more consistent. I'd be interested to hear how you get on with that. Post comments, I'd love to know. What's going on here? Don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments, love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show, get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.